Greetings! Welcome to another tutorial about Bloomreach XM with XenMods. In this video, we're going to talk about how to add custom buttons to your document toolbar. So let's get into it. Of course, as always, make sure you have your Bloomreach instance up and running and log into your CMS and console. The content we'll be using in this tutorial has originated from our previous tutorials, so if you want to know how to get to this part, make sure to check out the last few videos. This tutorial will be following along to a number of documents that are to be found in the Hippo XenMods repository on GitHub. Links to this you can find in the description of the video. We'll be focusing on the readme.markdown, starting at the toolbar plugin header, and also we want to have a look at the icons.md. We'll need this later. So, what is a button on the document toolbar? Well, once you're logged into the CMS and you've selected a document, you can see that there are a number of options up here that allow you to do different things to the documents. These are all built-in options, but with XenMods, it is very easy to add your own. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add a button that will do something not super useful, but it will demonstrate the principles, which is to search for the document path or the document UID on Google. We'll probably won't get any results, but that doesn't really matter. Then, at the end of this tutorial, we'll go into greater detail about what a good use case for this could be. So, but for now, let's get started reading the documentation. So it says, go into your console, and under this node, you can add your own toolbar button. So there's some things that will always be the same, which is, create a node, which the only type it can be is a front-end plugin. Specify the wicket ID. Set up the plugin class, which is a class that is part of the XenMods part of the site that is running. And then you can specify the action, which is the URL that will be opened once the button is clicked. You can specify if it needs to be in a submenu, which a submenu would be an option in something like this. And additionally, you can also specify the title, its icon, whether the button should be visible for documents that are published, or if they can also be visible for draft documents. And then finally, you can specify a list of types for which the button should show. So let's go to this node over here. So Hippo configuration, Hippo workflows, default, handle, front end render. There we go. So in here, we're going to add a new node of the type front end plugin. And we're going to call our button Google It. Very good. Not sure why it didn't show up. Let me refresh real quick. Ah, there it is. Google it. So one by one, let's start adding these options. So I've made this on top, so it's easier to do. So let's add a property. Let's call it wicket.id. Of the value item. A plugin class. Let's copy that across. Then for now, let's just specify the title first. So Google it. Great. And an icon. So if you don't specify this, you will get a gear icon, but there's a list of icons that are available for use. These are all built in. Because we're Googling it, we're going to use the search icon. So that's very good. We only want to search for published documents, so let's add that. let's make sure to select Boolean and set it to true. Then also, we want to make sure that we only do this on our recipe document. So we got the title, got the icon, published only. Then lastly, we'll specify the action. So in our case, let's go and Google it. So google.com. And now here you can fill out a placeholder. So you can either say the path, or you can say UID. When you specify a path, once you click the button, the path that the document belongs to, that is currently active, will be replaced here. And same goes for the UID, but that's just instead of the path, you get the unique identifier. Let's go with path for now. Okay, there we go. Then let's save it. And let's have a look what it looks like. Let's hope it works. So just refresh this. There you go. So now we have a button called Google It. Very good. And when we click it, you can see that it's opening a new tab and it's added the path in here. Let me quickly show you if we make that UID. Like this, for example. Here we go. Let's refresh it again. Open a document, click the button, and now we have the UID of the document, which is great. So the last thing I want to show you is that we can actually add it to a submenu. So in all lowercase, we're going to say custom options, for example, just to group them together. Save it, refresh, and there you go. Now we have a drop down. Beautiful. Okay, so now you might wonder, why would you want to do this? So an example use case for this is to be able to load the document that you're currently looking at inside the headless front end. So oftentimes when you're building a front end that uses the Bloomreach repository, the relationship between the CMS and the front end that uses the APIs to retrieve content is kind of implicit. And so the CMS doesn't necessarily know where the document is being used because it's all living externally. And so one thing you can do is to allow users to preview, or to at least go directly to the page that represents the document they're looking at. You can add a button like this, call it preview, and then have it linked to the URL that belongs to your front end, and have it introduce an endpoint that can listen to a UID or even a content path. Then your front end will contact the Bloomreach repository, grab the document that is identified by that UID or by that path, and then make a decision based on the type of document it retrieves, possibly based on the type of document, where to then redirect the user to allow them to see the document in action. So that's right. And so that's in short how you add a button in a potential use case. Thanks for watching. If you like this kind of thing, check out the playlist that popped up on the screen. And if you want to be notified when a new tutorial appears, make sure to subscribe. See you next time.